Okay, so as you guys know, I will not be here on Friday, May the 10th, and I'm not going to be here on Monday, May the 13th either. So what I wanted to do was to try to stay close to the us being on track as I can. I didn't want us to get too far behind, so I'm recording this so you can listen to this, but yet still take your notes. So I hope that you guys can hear me and you understand the lesson. So we're in lesson two. Lesson one, module 14 was about a statistical question. By the way, depending on when you listen to this, you have a quiz on Friday in Friday's folder. And so after you finish that quiz, you're gonna need to take your notes. So that means you're gonna need to watch this video and then write your notes in your textbook. So I'm gonna talk about the vocabulary first. It says a dot plot is a visual display in which each piece of data is represented by a dot above a number line. The number of times the data value occurs is its frequency. So frequency meaning how many times does it occur? Um, and then we're gonna jump into the lesson. So let me also talk about what is expected to happen. So after this lesson is over, you guys will be expected to construct, which means make, and analyze a dot plot. Analyze means possibly answer questions about the dot plot. So the very first example we have, it says statistical questions are answered by collecting and analyzing data. One way to understand a set of data is to make a visual display. A dot plot is a type of line plot that shows the frequency of each data value using a dot. So, no, this just kind of told you, explains to you what a dot plot is, which is a type of line plot. And so, with the dot plot, you're going to have dots. A pulse rate is the number of times a heart begins in a minute. The pulse rate for a group of 12-year-olds is taken before physical education class. The results are shown in the table. Which pulse rate is the most common among the group? So again, I'm going to just say it says a pulse rate is the number of times your heart beats in 1 minute. You guys can take your pulse in a couple of ways, but as you can see, this young lady is taking her pulse by touching a certain part of her neck, and she can feel a thump, which is representing her heart rate. Now, these are the pulse rates. The first thing they want you guys to do is to complete the number line with the appropriate scale, which I've already did for you guys. So basically, I want you guys to know we're counting basically by twos from 55. So this will be 56, I'm sorry, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, and all the way to 85. The pulse rates vary from 55 to 85. And then it says, so you should use a scale from 55 to 85. Now, let's try to answer some questions as it relates to our dot plot. So the first thing it tells us for each piece of data, plot a dot above the number that corresponds to that data value. So the first thing we have is 65, so we're going to find 65 and we're going to put a dot over it. And then we're going to find 79, put a dot over 79. And you might want to, maybe mark through it just so you know you've already did it. But then you have 82, so we're going to put a dot here over 82. 58 is here. 70 is there. 56 is here. 67 is there. 75, 69, 72, 65 again, 75, 85, 63, 57, 59, 55, 60, 66, 75, and then 75 again. Hopefully, you guys can see that. Now, one of the things just to make sure that I've plotted this correct, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna count these pulse rates. So I have one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 columns with 3 numbers in there. So the total number of dots I should have is 21. So I'm praying I did this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yes, it is correct. So we did A, and it says for each piece of data, plot a dot above the number that corresponds to that, and we did that. And so C says, which post rate is the most common among the group of 12-year-olds? So the one that has the most dots will be the one that has the most common post rate among the group of 12-year-olds. So in this case, it looks like it's going to be 75. And the question asks, explain how you know. And so we're gonna say 75. Well, I'm gonna go back to 75 beats per minute. Okay. And the way that I know this is because it has the 75 has the most beats or has the most dots. I'm sorry. Okay, so that's that one. Now let's look at example number 2. So example number 2 says a company's employees are rated for their customer service on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being very unhappy and 10 being very happy with the service. The customer service rating for one day are shown in the dot plot. Use the dot plot to describe the data. The first question they ask you guys is, what is the most common rating for the day? So the most common rating for the day looks like it's going to be 7. And the reason why it's going to be 7 is because 7 has the most dots. 7 is the most common rating. The reason why 7 is the most common rating is because 7 has the most dots. Okay? Now, the second one says, what is the least common rating for the day? And so as I look on my dot plot, the one that has the least amount of ratings looks like it's going to be 1. And 1 has the least amount, least common rating because it has 1 dot. Now they want to know how many observations are shown in this dot plot. Well, the number of observations is the number of dots. And so if I was to count these dots, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. There is a total of 40 observations, and it's 40 observations because there are 40 dots. Now, with D says, is a six or higher, I'm sorry, if a rating is six or higher, it is considered to be acceptable by the company. What percent of the ratings are acceptable? Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do are look for all the ones that have a six or higher rating. So all the ones that have a six or higher rating are here, six and on over. Those have a six or higher. So the way that we're gonna do the percent is there count all the ones that are six or higher. So if I'm counting six or higher, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Attention by the smart teachers, in 5 minutes, bring your students to the cafeteria for enrichment, please. Sorry about that. As you can tell, I'm recording now for school. So there are 27. I'm sorry. They want to know the total rating. So there are 40 total ratings, and 12 ratings are below 6. So I misread the question. So it said, and that's on me. Hopefully you guys can see. I should have paid more attention, but it says what percent of the ratings are unacceptable. So I did that wrong. If 6 and higher is acceptable, the unacceptable are going to be all the dots below 6, which means it's going to be 5 is going to be unacceptable, 4 is going to be unacceptable, 3 is going to be unacceptable, 2 is going to be unacceptable, and 1 is going to be unacceptable. So when I count those dots, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'm still miscounted somewhere. So let me recount this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go. So there it is. Now we got to write a fraction. So the numerator is going to represent um is going to be represented by 12, and 12 is the number of ratings below 6, and then 40 is our total ratings. Hopefully you guys can still understand. And so they want to know the percent. So the way we find the percent, in which you guys have been taught this, but because we are now using calculators, I'm going to allow you to use a calculator. So what you're going to do is you're going to put in your calculators. Hopefully you guys can see this. You're going to hit 12, division sign, 40. You're going to hit enter. And so that is going to put your answer as a decimal. But we're going to multiply that times 100, because anytime we deal with a decimal, anytime we deal with a percent, it's always out of 100. And so once we do that, that is going to tell me my percentage. So my percentage is going to be 30%. 30% of the ratings are considered to be unacceptable by the company. Now, E says if a rating is greater than 8, it is considered to be excellent. What percentage of the rating is excellent? So because they want an excellent rating, it says here that 8 is considered to be an excellent rating, and we want to know what percent of the rating for that day is excellent. So again, remember, when I go back to this table, there is a total of 40 dots. So I'm going to put 40 here. And then the ratings that are greater than 8, so we want to do greater than 8. They didn't say include 8. We want to know the ones that are greater than 8. So all the ones that will be greater than 8 is going to be 9 and 10. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's going to give me a 9 here. And like we did with the last one, we're going to just basically write the fraction. The 9 is going to be my numerator because that's going to be how many that had an excellent rating. And then 40 is going to be my denominator because that's the total. Like with the last problem, I am going to put it in the calculator. Sorry. Hopefully you guys can see this from what I don't want to show that part here. But you guys are going to put 9 divided by 40, which you're going to get a decimal. And so, same as last time, you're going to need to take that and multiply it by 100. And you're multiplying it by 100 because anytime you deal with a percent, it's always out of 100. And you will get 22.5%. Now, the next part says there are 5 additional customers at the end of the day. At the end of the day, each a rating of 10. Will this change your answers from part A to part E? If I add 5 more to this, if I was to add 5 more, let's say 5 more people came in and they said each had a rating of 10. So I'm just gonna put this right here. 1, 2, um, 3, 4, 5. And so they asking you, is it going to change the information from A to E? It's definitely going to change the information from A to E because 7 had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now 10 has one, well, that's 4. Well, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So instead of 7 being the highest, 10 is now going to be the highest. And as well as with this right here, especially E, I know we had 9 that had acceptable ratings, but we're now gonna have, if we add 5 more to that, we'll then have 14. So it's definitely gonna change the answers. So the thing is, the most common will now be 10 instead of 7. Will be 10. The most common rating will be 10. The other thing is now, instead of you having 40 observations, you will now have there are 45 observations. Okay, that's something else. And then lastly, it's saying that the percent below will decrease to 27 and the percent greater than 8 will change to 36. So I'll write those down and then we will move on. And the reason why it's going to change is because your total is going to change. And I can show you that the unacceptable, at first we was using a denominator of 40, but now because we added 5 more, we'll still keep the same numerator, 12 divided by 45. And so, and then we're gonna multiply it by 100. And so, as you can see, it's 26.66666. But all we did was rounded it to 27. So just wanted to show you guys that. And then the excellent rating will be about 31%. The reason being, we're gonna add five more here. So we add five more there. That should be 14, and then we're gonna add five to the total. So that should be 45. And again, multiply that times 100, and that's going to give you that about 31%. Okay. All right. So again, I'm recording myself so you guys can put these things in your notes, and we won't be falling too far behind. Okay. Our last example. So hopefully I stay under 30 minutes. I don't want to be too far over that, but hopefully I can. So the next part, it says the recommended amount of water that each person should drink per day is shown. Students are asked to track how much water they actually drink in a day. The number of glasses of water they drank on a specific day is shown in the following list. And so here are the lists. Um, it says complete the dot plot to show the amount of water students drink per day. So we got 1 through 9, or 0 through 9. So I'm gonna start here with a 5. With the 5, I'm gonna put a dot over it. With the 7, I put a dot over it. 9 dot, 7 dot, 6 dot, 1 dot, 4 dot, 2 dot, 3 dot, 0 dot, 8 dot, 5, 2, 5, 6, 7, 4, 8, 5, 6, 4, 3, 8, 6, and 5. And like on the very first example, I'm going to count the numbers to make sure I have enough dots. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So I have 25. So let me make sure I have 25 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yes, I applied it right. All right, and so we're going to look at this data, and it says, what is the most common number of glasses of water students drink? And so it looks like because 5 has the most dots, 5 is going to be the answer. Most students drink 5 glasses of water. The next one says, how many students drink at least the recommended amount of water per day? So, in order for us to know what the recommended amount of water to drink per day, we're going to have to go here. So it says the recommended amount of water that each person should drink per day is shown. So this is the part that is shown. This is your recommended amount here. These 8 glasses of water. Recommended. Okay? So, the recommended amount is 8 glasses, and it says how many students drink at least the recommended amount of water. So, 3 students drank at least, well, we have 3 here, and then we have 1 there. So, we have a total of 4 students who drink the recommended amount of water. Okay, and then it says how many observations are shown on the dot plot. If I remember, it should be 25 observations because there are 25 dots on the plot. 25 observations. Okay, and lastly, it says what percent of students did not drink at least the recommended amount of water. So we want the percent of students who did not drink the at least the recommended amount of water. So remember with this one, this is where we have to make that fraction. So the first number we're gonna write down is gonna be the number of students who do not drink the recommended amount of water. Keep in mind the recommended amount of water is going to be 8 and higher. So you have a couple of things you can do. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So we know there are 21 students that do not drink the recommended amount of water. So you could have count all the ones with the dots up to 7. Okay. And then my denominator is going to be 25. And my denominator is 25 because that's the total number of dots. And like last time, we're going to put it in our calculator. So I'm going to say 21 divided by 25, and I'm going to get a decimal, which is going to be 0.84. And so again, because I'm dealing with a percent, I want to multiply that by 100 because I'm working with a percent. And when I do that, I get the whole number of 84. So 84% of the students do not drink at least the recommended amount of water per day. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that I have helped you out. When I return back to work, we will do some practice problems, but I will also assign you some practice problems. So those will definitely be the ones that we go over when I return. I hope this helps. Please, please, please take your notes in your textbooks. Have a good one. Bye.